Jerusalem, we are looking at the areas around the Wailing Wall from inside the ramp that leads to the Temple Mount.
Welcome everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We have just walked up the ramp from the Wailing Wall to the Temple Mount.
Here, threats and intimidations. And let me explain why the P47, Jerusalem divided, west we are here, and over to the east. This was all Jordan. This whole area, which is controlled by the Jordanian government. But in 1967, at the Six-Day War, the gates, the altars, approximately 10 BC.
The Dome of the Rock is located near where the temple once stood. Scanning south areas of the Temple Mount.
Okay, this is a good picture stop. And then off to our left here, you see a huge part of the place. We talked about the controversy where that sinking tent that was on.
From the old bedrocks of the original temple. Looking at areas of the Temple Mount. Glenn didn't want to let our group go through that area, the Temple Mount. The platform. Like the Temple Mount's becoming more and more like you see it. The eastern day, Jesus shall walk through.
Hello.
That's where they were, right there.
Can't see them. You look straight down, right where the floor meets the wall, you see two projections of stone now.
Oh,
That's part of the original wall that was there in Jesus' time. Everything else is Turkish.
how come they left that bit in there?
Foundation.
All the rest of that floor is Turkish. Only on the very end. There's mango stones of white water. So, you know, in the Middle East, when they build, and then if you take over
What we just saw was a pathway near the top of the inside part of the eastern wall. The largest stones are from Herod's temple. Smaller ones were put in much later. seems to be quite a presence of Muslims which sometimes antagonize tourist groups or tourist leaders and give them a tough time.
25,000 people.
The following is probably the original Temple Mount floor. Looking to the west.
Okay,
the
let's wait
exit
here.
from the
Hey,
Temple Mount.
Wait here. Wait here. Hey. Oh, you're what? I'm sorry.
Coming from the exit to the Temple Mount.
Oh, they aren't.
Lion's Gate.
So it's called
Lion's Gate.
again.
Note the different stones in the wall from different time periods.
Different religious symbols, and a number of them, believe it or
Different
not,
periods.
are dated.
This is the Eastern Gate, also called the Golden Gate. It has been sealed since 1541. Jesus will enter this gate when he returns. The tombs in front of it will not stop him. St. Anne's Church, I believe it is. Regarding the Temple Mount or platform, the mount was originally a Jebusite threshing floor. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and Roman paganism have used it. The highest point is 2,428 feet high. Solomon's temple was built here approximately 957 BC. The second temple was begun under Cyrus about 538 BC. Approximately 19 BC, Herod extended the mount's area using about 10,000 workers. Huge stones, some over 100 tons, were laid. Its size is approximately 1,601 foot on the west, 1,542 foot on the east, 1,033 feet on the north, and 919 feet on the south. It is approximately 37 acres and is throughout thought to be Mount Moriah, where Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac, and Mount Zion, where Jesus Christ shall reign. Jesus taught here before the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. Zion is in the Bible 153 times. The Temple Mount, the future. The Bible foretells a time period called the Tribulation. At that time, a temple will be built, which will be the home of the Antichrist. Jesus Christ will return at the time of the Battle of Armageddon, which is immediately after the Tribulation. Jesus will reign and rule as King of Kings and Lord of Lords for 1,000 years, reference 1 Timothy 6:15. there will be a great temple reminiscent of Solomon's temple, reference Ezekiel 40 to 48. Other verses include 2 Samuel 7:13, Amos 9:11, Acts 15:16 and 17, Ezekiel 37:26-27, Zechariah 6:12-13, and Isaiah 33:20, and more. Up on the Temple Mount, the security is very stringent. We are filming after having just left the Temple Mount. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third period, the Romans destroyed Herod's temple in 70 AD. Originally, the Al-Aqsa was a small prayer house which was expanded in 705 AD. It was reportedly destroyed by earthquakes several times, but afterward was rebuilt. The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock currently sit on the Temple Mount. Muslims believe that Muhammad was transported from the sacred mosque in Mecca to Al-Aqsa during his night journey, and then transported to heaven among Sunni Muslims. The mount is considered to be the third holiest site in Islam. It is approximately 380,000 square feet and can hold up to about 5,000 worshippers. Again, we're filming from a place other than the Dome of the Rock, considering perhaps the security situation. The Dome of the Rock, it is reported that the Dome of the Rock was built between 689 to 692 AD. It may be the most recognizable structure in Jerusalem as seen from the Mount of Olives. The size of the dome is almost exactly the same as that of the Holy Sepulchre, according to Islamic tradition. The Rock of Moriah is the place Muhammad ascended to heaven, according to tradition. According to Jewish tradition, the stone is where Abraham prepared to sacrifice his son Isaac. It was badly shaken in an earthquake in 1927. The Eastern Gate, or Golden Gate, again, we're not filming on the Temple Mount, but after we've just left it. This is the oldest of Jerusalem's old city gates. Jesus will pass through this gate when he returns. Reportedly, Suleiman had it sealed in 1541 to prevent the Messiah from entering. The Muslims also put graves in front of it, believing these would prevent the Messiah from passing through this gate. The outside of the gate can be approached by a sidewalk. This gate shall be shut, it shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Lord, the God of Israel, hath entered in by it. Therefore it shall be shut, Ezekiel 44:2. The Temple Mount side of it has two doors. Muslims use the inside of the Eastern Gate for various activities. The Pool of Bethesda.
I have already done that.
I'll get it from a different angle.
Looking down, it would be estimated the distance is probably about 60 feet down. The Antonio Fortress, the first station. The Via Dolorosa means way of suffering. It is a traditional path of stations. Jesus is said to have walked to his crucifixion, a distance of about 2,000 feet. The current route was established in the 18th century. It is traditional.
Near station number 6, if you can see me with my arm.
As we walk the various stations, many merchants on both sides. As we travel along, various numbers of the station across are now marked. As we're walking, many different kind of shops. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, of course, strictly traditional. It's inside the old city wall, and it will be inside the old city wall when the prophets come, which indicate it's absolutely impossible for this to be the correct location. Scripturally, it is not possible that this is the correct location. Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Via Dolorosa, Part 1, Traditional. In 70 AD, the Romans came and burned and destroyed the old city. It was rebuilt at a later date. Thus, the so-called 14 Stations of the Cross would be only traditional. Any attempt to say Jesus went this or that exact spot would only be traditional or questionable. It begins where Jesus stood before Pontius Pilate and was condemned to death. It ends either at the Holy Sepulchre or the Garden Tomb, depending on which a person believes is correct. Biblically, the Garden Tomb meets all requirements. The Holy Sepulchre does not. John 19, 13, and 16. Pilate brought Jesus forth and sat down in the judgment seat in a place that is called the Payment, but in Hebrew, Gabbatha. Then delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified. And they led him away as one proceeds along the pathway. There comes a dividing point. Some go toward the Damascus Gate, Golgotha, and the Garden Tomb, which is outside the wall. Others go toward the Holy Sepulchre, which is inside the wall. Thus, it cannot be correct, as it must be outside the city wall, both in the time of Jesus and in the near future, as it is the same place that the two witnesses will be killed, Revelation 11:8. The Holy Sepulchre. As a person proceeds, they pass many Arab shops. Tourists are sometimes overwhelmed by merchants selling religious trinkets. This noisy atmosphere tends to distract from the true significance of this place and the sacrifice Jesus made to save mankind from their sins. During the Middle Ages, the Roman Catholics split. Each supported their own route. The current route toward the Holy Sepulchre is about 2,000 feet. It was established since the 18th century and replaced several earlier versions. There appears to have been much disagreement about the route. There are 9 Stations of the Cross and 5 inside the church. As already said, the Holy Sepulchre route is only traditional. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre, again, traditional. This is also called the Church of the Resurrection. It is inside the Christian quarter of the Old City and claims to be the place Jesus was both crucified and buried. It appears to date to 325 AD. It was partly destroyed in 1009. Between 1027 and 1048, it was partly rebuilt. In 1808, a fire damaged it severely, and the dome collapsed. Some rebuilding took place about 1809. Repairs are badly needed. The custodians of the Holy Sepulchre are the Eastern Orthodox, Armenian, Apostolic, Roman Catholic, and Greek Orthodox. Infighting exists between each regarding the location and other issues. This is the last of the 4 stations of the Via Dolorosa, the route they say Jesus took carrying his cross. This has been a major tourist attraction since the 4th century. Biblically, Jesus had to be crucified and buried outside the old city wall. Also, this location in the latter days must still be outside the old city wall, reference Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. This location is biblically disqualified from being authentic. It is inside the old city wall. The Garden Tomb may be authentic. Supposedly, this is where Jesus was crucified, in this area. This is a traditional place that Jesus was buried. Again, the traditional place that Jesus was buried. The lines wanting to get in. Filming some additional parts of the church. There's several other churches also here, and they each have their own place where they say Jesus was crucified and buried within this premises. This is another place within the Church of the Holy Sepulchre that says, no, this is the place it should be, that Jesus was crucified and buried in this area. We've now left the Holy Sepulchre and are walking out towards the bus. Coming up, a security fence between Jerusalem and the Palestinian-controlled Bethlehem.
Will be born.
We just entered
Near
Bethlehem.
Ephrathah.
This could be Rachel's tomb. Rachel's tomb. This site is in Bethlehem. It is considered holy to the Jews, Christians, and Muslims. There is a question if this is genuine or traditional. In October 2015, UNESCO adopted a policy putting this tomb under Palestinian control.